I would still want the game running at 30.
Okay, that was a great catch, Griffin. Cringe, but true.
Guys, Souping over here back with another video. Real quick before we get started though, just a heads up. I've had more than one person come to me and say that they found themselves unsubscribed from this channel for whatever reason.
Yeah, the classic YouTube is unsubscribing people from my channel automatically line. You know, this is a desperate attempt that people use to try and get new subs where, you know, they're hoping you're going to be like, holy shit, is this true? Maybe I'll sub to his channel to see if I get automatically unsubbed after a while. Don't fall for this shit, guys.
Well, basically, if I unsub for no reason, which isn't actually happening for real, for even any people, I'll really have to resub. But, you know, this isn't actually a way to get subs. This is just to get their subscribers back. And that was such a down drop for my voice.
Being unsubscribed from this channel automatically for who the fuck knows. YouTube is stupid, but anyway.
I mean, I agree YouTube is stupid, but 99% of the people posting that shit are just looking for your attention, bro, and congrats, you just gave it to them.
Like
You said it too, Griffin. You said it too.
native 4K, 60 frames per second, that there's no excuse for games not running at 60 frames per second.
I mean, there's really not any excuse for games to not be running at 60 FPS in 2020 on new hardware that both Microsoft and Sony are saying is comparable to a 2080 Ti. You know, huge fucking X'd it out on that shit, but there's no excuse for it to not be running at 60. Like, lower the resolution, you're gonna notice a bigger difference in terms of frames per second versus like 1440p versus 4K. If these consoles are even half as powerful as they claim to be, 60 FPS should be the new standard on games for like the next 3 to 4 years at minimum.
And so basically, I think I remember that you called the PlayStation 5 a piece of plastic hardware. So I'm not expecting anything that would change majorly for the PlayStation 5. So yeah, totally not.
No true PlayStation fan would ever criticize anything Sony does. I mean, obviously, the people who buy the console are not going to be invested in hoping to get the best product for their money possible because, you know, it's just a bunch of Xbox fanboys, dude, that are just jealous over all those great exclusives.
Basically, Xbox has only a few exclusives. Most of them, most of the Xbox games are not even exclusives. They're just indie titles, which are linked to Xbox and PC. So basically, I criticized PlayStation also for charging us PlayStation Plus, which we really hate. Alright? A lot of people hate that feature, you know? And I even criticized The Last of Us 2 storyline. Not the graphics. But, I mean, the graphics were good, but they were pretty much a downgrade to the E3 2018 event. So, I'm not going to criticize that. I'm just very disappointed in that. So, yeah, here's that. And also, basically, I want to get through this, but Xbox really doesn't have that great exclusives compared to PlayStation. But why am I saying exclusives to Xbox? Xbox barely has any exclusives, which I'm not sure if it's true, but I literally just... I mean, why am I even starting? Like, I mean, I just found zero interest in Xbox, and I just got 2 notifications during a video. Wow.
Why many of these games were running at 30 frames per second, and it had nothing to do with limitations of the hardware.
Well, fucking shit. This is such bullshit, dude. Because if this wasn't the case, PC games would be locked at 30 FPS as well. But they're fucking not. I wonder why. Again, just throwing something out here, but maybe it's because PCs don't have the same hardware limitation as consoles do.
Well, I totally mean that is a lot true, because consoles and PCs are not the exact same. I'm just pointing that out. They're not the same. Because they both can be, both these hardware pieces, both PC and the consoles have different capabilities, where it be engines and shit. So basically, PC is actually very easy to optimize rather than consoles. But however, I'm not really gonna make an excuse for the consoles at all. Nope, not at all.
I want.
And basically, are you saying that I'm recording on my phone? Of course, yes, I fully admit.
And more to do with limitations of TVs and developers' decisions based on the HDR capabilities of those TVs.
You serious?
Okay, you know what? I was pretty disappointed that Griffin Gaming didn't put his logo, his picture, his channel logo on his face, and for Peter Parker, Peter Parker's face should be supernovas. Yeah, that's what I think of.
It is a bunch of nonsense, but, thank God we have our technical expert here to go through and explain this shit to us, but just keep this in mind, okay? He's claiming to be an expert on technology. This man obviously knows what he's talking about. He's gonna explain this complex concept of HDR to us. Like, thank God he's here to walk us plebes through this very complicated technical shit. So just keep that in the back of your mind as we get a little bit deeper into this video, because it's gonna come right back into play once we get a little further on into this video.
Okay, so basically he's not a review tech hardware engineer, whatever the hell you said to him. But he's supposed to review the damn console. So basically it's all about hype, but I'm not gonna be here to defend him now. Because I gotta be honest with you. I'm gonna have to pause this for a second. He's not even supposed to, he's not really supposed to be an engineer, reviewer, but he doesn't know technology, but he looks at scripts, at just articles. Which I mean by scripts is articles, like this one that he shown in the highlighted. Yeah, that's what I mean.
TV can't support 4K 60 HDR, then downscale it to 30 FPS or disable HDR. Holy shit, guys. You would think you would need like an engineering degree to figure this shit out, but I assure you, I only have a finance degree.
Okay, man, so, yep, I am recording on my phone once again. I have to repeat that to myself that many times, and you really don't need to take this less serious, because it's just a piece of plastic. You just said that. So what's the point of taking it serious? But why did I even say less serious? That's what I meant. I meant serious, not less serious. And basically, you're proven to be a technical engineer guy, because you just said proof to yourself. Okay, you know what? I'm pretty wrong here. It appears that I couldn't tell time. Yep, I can't even see the future, It appears that This video just gives pure examples that Supernova is pretty much a engineerist or a technical engineer. Anyway, let's keep moving.
Cop-outs I think I've ever heard for like damage controlling on why games can't run at 60 FPS on the PS5. This is like saying that because some people on PC still play on monitors in 4:3 aspect ratio, that no games that release can release with a 16:9 mode, because, you know, that wouldn't be fair to the people who have shitty monitors. Like, what the fuck is this, dude? If someone goes out and buys a shitty 4K TV, that's on fucking them. Why does everyone else have to suffer as a result? Like, this is honestly desperate, bro, and if you actually believe this is the reason, then you should probably go seek mental help, because you're fucking delusional at this point.
The devs are opting to have the better looking game.
Sorry for the long pause, and I just stopped at a blurry picture, but let's be honest here. You're taking this too seriously. Okay, don't cry over a piece of plastic, or a piece of hardware plastic, wherever you want to call it. But anyway, I really don't give a shit. No, not at all. Okay, I've probably never heard of the word filmic. Nope. So it appears that ignorance is pretty much a bliss. Okay, you know what? I gotta be honest with you. This would be a perfectly created meme, you know? Like, he created a guy that is a Xbox fanboy, and a PlayStation fanboy, but I never seen him ever create a Nintendo fanboy. Like, I seen a concept of him, like a guy like this in red, with a cap in red, and hair is pretty much brown, and shoes are red. And I'm just being honest, there might be a Nintendo fanboy or a PC fanboy, which I could pretty much, like, I could definitely want the PC fanboy to be PC Master Race, bro. Or PC Master Race, yo. Or I can, for Nintendo, I really don't know. Yeah. Okay, and by the way, I really don't give a shit about the games running at 30 FPS on a single multiplayer game. Even though that the developers aren't going to realize that you can probably change the settings to 2160 to 1080p. But, you know, for a single player game, I really don't care if it runs at 30 or even 60. But for a multiplayer game, I expect a lot of high things. Like, you know, 120 FPS on 1080p for both the piece of hardware plastic shit 5 thing or the mini refrigerator shit. Yeah. That's what I expect for both consoles next gen. Okay, you know what? That filmic word actually gets me every time, because I really don't know what the word means. No. So I'm really gonna have to search up the word. Alright guys, so filmic means relating to movies or cinematography. Okay, now I definitely know what the word means. Alright guys, so we talked about 1080p 60. That makes a huge difference in any game. I think you're going to really appreciate that. He said, well, I really don't find any 60 FPS on 1080p. Not even the PS4 Pro couldn't even support that shit. No. Then watch a movie, retard. Well, wow. I can't believe it. You know, Griffin Gaming just took it seriously. Again. It's just a piece of plastic, bro. Just chill, bro. Dude, chill, please. Calm down. I said even before. he's not even that much of a engineer or techno guy. I don't even fucking know. Whatever. Yeah.
Resolution does not equal graphics. In order to raise the resolution, you have to turn down things like textures, details, render distance. But of course, no PlayStation fanboy will ever mention that shit because, 4K over everything. And if you're so worried about getting that cinematic feel, then watch a fucking movie.
So I want to watch a movie. Well, for cinematics, I would rather have it on 30 FPS for cinematics. But if I want, like, this should be given an option of the gameplay for 30 and 60 FPS. So yeah, I believe there should be an option for 30 FPS or 60 FPS for a game. Okay. And why would I want to watch a movie to feel the cinematic view?
Was basically completely irrelevant considering he could not include the comparison clip that the whole point of including those clips in the first place was based around. I really need to step up my game, dude. Like, this video quality is top tier.
30 FPS is pretty slow. Gotta be honest here. Like, I would take 30 FPS only for cinematics of a game, but for gaming, I would rather take 60 FPS. Okay, you know what? I'm not gonna waste a little bit more time, so I'm gonna have to speed it up to 5 minutes.
Knows way more than I could ever hope to.
Now, I'm sure there are devs who are going to prioritize smoothness over anything else, and they're going to target that 60 frames per second, and that's going to be mandatory for the game they are trying to make. And those are primarily going to be your first-person shooters, racing games, and fighting games. But I think all the other games, the third-person action-adventure games, your Uncharted's, your Spider-Man's, your Horizon Zero Dawn's, your Fable, if they actually finally unveil Fable, games like that, I think the developers are going to target making the game look as good as possible, not necessarily run as smooth as possible.
Yeah, because who wants to play a video game when you could just watch the cutscenes, am I right? Like, that's the whole reason everybody buys a video game. Like I said earlier, I would be lying if I said I did anything different. I mean, it's 2020 after all. Who even buys video games to play them anymore? Maybe a bunch of boomers, but that's about it. So obviously, games should be more filmic, bro, at 30 FPS, instead of actually play better, because like I said, who even plays them at this point?
And
Okay, for you saying who plays them anymore for 2020, why are you even playing them? Like, why are you even playing the games now? And why are you showing them for this video? I know it's gonna be boring without them, but, I'm just asking.
doesn't feel bad. Playing games at 30 frames per second doesn't feel bad.
Yo, is this person fucking retarded?
Yes.
Like, I mean, 30 FPS for a single player game, it doesn't feel bad, but for a multiplayer game, oh god. Like, if you go to 60 FPS, you can realize that's the minimal for this decade now. And you really feel like that you don't want to go back, but go further than 60 FPS. Because basically, we're moving on to a new generation, but however, I really don't care about 30 FPS for a single player game. Like, 30 FPS on a single player game is really not a big deal. But for if I play multiplayer, then hell no. Like, you can tell that much of a difference between 30 or 60 in GTA, but for other games, yeah, you can tell that. And basically, for Dark Souls 2, it feels a little bit choppy, but when you get into the cinematics, then it's actually pretty smooth. But not for gaming. No, not at all. But for cinematics, yes. And basically, what I'm trying to do is, I actually lowered my expectations for 2020 gaming. And You can totally know my tone that I really don't accept games running at 30 for multiplayer, you know? That's what I'm saying.
Now, I know those of you who play a lot of online multiplayer first-person shooters are screaming at me in the comments, and listen, I get it, I understand. When it comes to playing first-person shooters online competitively, 60 frames per second should be the minimum because of how much better it is and how much better your reaction times can be and how much smoother everything runs. I totally get it.
I mean, you say that you get it, bro, that 60 FPS is objectively better when it comes to the gameplay experience. And in case you forgot, you're buying a video game for the gameplay. Like, it's not some long-lost secret we're talking about here. Everybody knows this shit. You buy a video game to play it. So why would you not want every single game out there to play better at 60 frames per second?
Whoa, calm down, Griffin. It's just a console. And for a game, it's just a game, you know? Like, you don't really need to get this angry or pissed. Whatever you're doing. But chill, bro. There's no need to get this mad for a console or a game. Because it's gaming, bro. You have a choice.
I mean, I just genuinely start to wonder what's going through this dude's head. Like, I know I always say that console fanboys are not the most intelligent people out there, but I think this really does prove it.
Okay, you know, that statement that he said for console fanboys, saying that what is going on with this dude's head, that just tells me that that Griffin Gaming's probably having a meltdown now. I really don't know. And basically, I couldn't even laugh. No. Okay, like I said before, for single player games, I really don't care if they run at 30, because single player games aren't really going to be a problem for 30 to 60, but for multiplayer, hell yeah, they're going to mean a lot of a difference.
I would still want the game running at 30.
Look, here's the thing.
Fine. Listen,
I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm kind of retarded.
In case you're wondering why aliens haven't come to an...
Okay, so basically you're comparing science to games. So you're actually bringing aliens to games. Well, it's just games. Whatever. Wait, what can you do? Like, if you expect for a cinematic view, then you would rather have it on 30, but if you feel it for gaming, then you would rather have it on 60, you know? And first of all, gaming isn't actually the reason why you put aliens not coming to Earth, you know? Even though that you're not taking it seriously, but there's really no reason why to put that there. So basically, Supernova actually said that it's personally. So it's basically his opinion. Griffin, please don't get mad. It's an opinion. Respect it. You know?
The PlayStation 5 is too weak to run games at 4K 60.
I don't think...
Okay, you know what? For the games that PlayStation actually showed us, I actually agree that it's too weak to even play at 4K 60, but powerful enough to play at 4K 30, you know? But, however, that is actually a difference for what I'm saying.
Like, it shouldn't be the defining factor for a next generation game, because games should have already been default 60 FPS years ago at this point. But, you know, here we are once again in 2020 at the start of a new console generation, once again wondering if games will ever reach that 60 FPS mark, because once again it looks like we're going to be in another generation filled with a bunch of 30 FPS titles that prioritize resolution over everything else.
Okay, so basically, you know, this cinematic actually shows that if you ever play 30 FPS for the next 10 years, this is where you end up. This is where consoles will actually end up. You know, yep, that's exactly what I think. Well, basically, Griffin, I'm actually gonna agree with you for the whole thing 4K 60 for Supernova's gaming video. Of course, I'm not gonna agree with that. But you know, like if I I don't want to watch an entire movie by wasting all my bucks for an entire movie. So why would I waste my entire bucks for a movie if I want to feel the cinematic view for a game? You know, for cinematics, 30 should be good, but for entire gaming, 60 or even higher than that. Because this is basically the start of 2020. Man, dude, I gotta be honest, Griffin, you really don't need to get this exhausted because it's just gaming. Like, gaming is not meant to be taken very seriously, but you decided to take it so seriously that I really couldn't raise my voice over this. You know, I'm trying my hardest to raise my voice, but I just couldn't because my throat doesn't feel like it, you know? It feels like that I want to be quiet, or my throat wants to be quiet, you know? But anyway, guys, that is it for today's video. It's not even a reaction, but it's just what I'm actually seeing to this. Like, if it's a reaction, then I would definitely have my face for it. I would definitely have my face cam over here. So anyway, guys, that is it. So I hope you all have an amazing day. Bye, guys.